Hello and welcome back to another episode of Defi Discussions. My name is Shizzy and today we have another market update as always with my friend Yago B. What's up, buddy?
Hey, what's going on?
We're just going to jump right into it today. But yeah, so today we got some really good stuff we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about the track versus Unisat stuff, which is very, very intriguing. Shots fired, by the way. We're going to be talking the bitmap punks. We're going to be talking Oshi. My man Yagobi over here went through the docs, so you don't have to. He's going to explain it and break it down for us. We got some really good stuff tonight, so let's kind of just jump right into the market update. What do you see, buddy?
Yeah, there's been some weird movement with the BRC20s. Let me share my screen here. So this week, really, it's been a little bit weird, right? So we had the name change of Twitter kind of get announced with changing it to X. Elon's childhood dream of X.com, and everybody seemed to have launched a X token, including the BRC20 space. And so that was something that was new. And a lot of people were just kind of fading it initially because, it's going to be like a quick meme hype and then die. But it's actually kind of sustained. I remember seeing it at first at like 5 sats, and now it's at 160. You can see there. It was the leader for like 2 days, I think, and it got up to like the second number 2 for volume. It got up to like 2 Bitcoin, which is crazy because and then Sats was number 1 before that. But now you're looking at Oshi. Oshi kind of took the lead. As you can see here, they're in that one spot for volume. Let's see what they're at here. $965. So they're knocking on the door at that $1,000 mark again. They've been here probably 2 other times, I want to say. But yeah, so they are up 10.5%, 10.68%. Sats had been really doing well the past couple days and kind of saw a couple of steps back here, minus 22%. I'm bullish on Sats long term. I know you're a little bit skeptical of it just because like it's only at like 34% in terms of the minting, but a lot of selling is going on during the in the secondary market. But I believe in this branding. Sats is a huge brand name for Bitcoin, right? Stacking Sats and I've heard a couple people speak on Sats saying it could be similar to like a Doge situation because there's 2.1 quadrillion, I believe, supply. So that's the scary part, right? So I do think that there's a future for Sats with the branding and all that. And then we already went over X. Then we'll go into Ordi right here, number 4, $6.16. So it's been around this range, $6 to $7, this past week. It's down about 1%. So really kind of even there. Track is up 7%. Track has been kind of, hovering around this 50-cent range. It's been hovering around this 50-cent range, I want to say, for the past like week, maybe. Right. It got all the way up to, I think it got up to like, did it get up to 80 cents?
It got up to 77 cents.
Okay. 77 cents. Yeah. So
on the I think whatever centralized exchange is on, it got up to $1.50, but that's not what it got on Unisat.
Yeah, for sure. And I always go by Unisat because I mean, like, I'm just not on OKX and whatever other, maybe Mexi, was that what it was on to?
Gate.io.
Okay, yeah. So that's good for Track overall to be on those exchanges. Especially if you could do some really quick maneuvering because you could definitely arbitrage that, right? Think about that, like 70 cents to like $1.50 if you could have sent that over there real quick and then sold out. So really I'm still bullish on Track. Not financial advice, of course, you guys know that on the show, but they're Benny's he's a workhorse, man. He's a workhorse. And I've heard some things just on the, I guess you would say, no longer Twitterverse, but you can't really say Xverse now because
of the wallet.
Yeah. But on Twitter, I'm gonna still use Twitter for now. But like, I heard some people like tracking wallets from the deployer wallet saying that people have been selling. And the thing is that even if that's true, first of all, the dude's been busting his ass. So
Yeah.
like for me, I don't have a problem with that, but also I can understand if people do have a problem with it, to each their own. But one thing that I will say is the price is holding pretty strong, even if that
Yeah.
is true, right? So we're still at 51 cents here. So
It's funny that people criticize that, but they don't criticize when Aave sold their coins, or when all the other DeFi protocols sold all their coins and stuff. Like Andre was known for selling most of his what is it, what is it,
Phantom.
YFI, right?
Oh,
No, it was
okay. Oh, the
YFI
second
at the,
second
yeah,
project.
at the top at $90, or $900 or something, right? Is that what it got up to? So people criticize, no, 90,000, sorry, it got up to like 90
90,000.
grand. Yeah, at
Wow.
YFI, because the supply is like 30,000. It's or
Okay.
something. It's something crazy. But
Oh,
it
you're in
got,
finance.
you're in finance. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah,
Didn't that get up really high?
that's his project. I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's Andre Cronje. That's one of his babies. Yeah, and but no one criticized him for selling up there. But they're gonna criticize Benny or Track for maybe selling. And it's just a rumor. It's not even a thing. Like I
Yeah.
don't think it's true. But that's just my opinion.
Regardless, I just
Yeah,
think that like you know, people can feel how they want to feel. In my opinion, though, I'm okay with that. Um, you know, and but yeah, so you know, I feel like track is kind of on track. No pun
yeah.
intended, right? Like they're on track. They're we can get into the a little bit of that back and forth with Unisat and Benny and stuff like that in a little bit. But yeah, so I'm excited about them to see, what's coming next. They're still holding strong there. Grum, we talked about Grum last week whenever you went over the BRC20 market update, and
Yep.
it actually is a meme coin. We found that out. A grumpy cat is actually um, the name of that project. Let me actually pull that up because I think it's funny, and I want to show that. Website real quick. Maybe not. But anyways, yeah. So I think I sent it over to you, but it's basically a meme token, right? So
Yeah.
like the BRC20 space doesn't necessarily have like a ton of meme tokens. There are some, but they like stick out because we don't have a ton, right?
Yeah.
So this is the website right here. You can see the grumpy cat face there. The ultimate meme coin for Bitcoiners. Only dogs and frogs use copycat networks. Now it's time for Bitcoin to take the meme throne with Grumpy the Maximalist. And you know what's funny is that like we're at a point with BRC20 tokens that people deploy random shit like sometimes, and they don't even throw a website up. And sometimes
Yeah.
these tokens, they don't go crazy like the EVM tokens or Ethereum tokens, but they'll go up like a certain amount. And people are just looking for a website, and if you have a website, then you can catch more momentum.
For
And
sure.
so it's funny to me that people won't even just put up a website if they're trying to get a token going. But this is a Grumpy Cat here, and so yeah, Grumpy Cat is dead even. No surprise there. This one is the Satoshi Yacht Club, and
What is going on with this? I
yeah,
am
yeah.
hearing craziness.
Oh man, this one's very interesting to me, and I know I've talked about it a couple weeks now. But there was this whale that, and I'm not going to go into like super deep wallet tracking on the show. I just think that I don't want to do that right now. But I did track it, and what I will say is someone cleaned up the floor yesterday, and I'm talking about this guy had millions of track that cleaned up the floor, and
And
also
VMPX.
yeah, millions of VMPX. So I don't know if something's brewing with Satoshi Yacht Club, but I have some, full disclosure, and I'm holding because I don't know. It's weird, man. It's weird. They're back
And
to
this
like
was just at 35 cents, correct?
no, not 35 cents.
I'm sorry, 35 sats. 37
No,
cents.
no,
No?
that was Ledger.
Oh,
So I
okay.
think the highest that this got was 24, but it
Gotcha.
dropped all the way down to like 8 a couple days ago. So the fact that it's back to 20 and then some of these big wallets are buying up and cleaning the floor up, it just makes me think that there's going to be something that's going to come out with this. But I could be completely wrong, like I have been before. T seems to be kind of like a play off of X, right? So it looks like when you see this style of font, it's an image, I believe, or something, maybe like a font change or something. But yeah, I'm not sure what T is. OXBT. So this one, we always talk about OXBT because we know that this is the token that BitGod launched, and it's been a popular token and project by
Redacted
Redact. Yeah,
cartel. Oh no,
Redacted.
redacted, not cartel, just redacted.
Yeah. And they've been hovering around this like 85 to like it got back to like 110, I think 120 maybe.
Yeah, 120.
Yeah. And so I still believe in what they're doing over there. I think it's just going to be a time thing, and hopefully, you know, it catches momentum. XCOM, that's the play off of the whole X thing. HSAC, I have no idea. SBTC. So I think this might be like the second Bitcoin that people are talking about that launched. I don't know a ton about it. Orpo, we know about Orpo. So Orpo is that BRC20 DEX solution that they're trying to solve the liquidity pool issue in DEX. Dozy, I have no idea. Do you know anything about Dozy?
No, I actually minted this for no reason at all. It was just available, and so I am sitting on some of that, but it was I'm not. I think it minted out now, but it was one of those ones where I was like, oh, I'll look into Dozy, but no, I don't know much about it.
Well, it's at 94, so you must have. Yeah. Was it a low supply one or something?
I can't remember. I'll have to look into it. It's been a long time, but I didn't realize it was up so high.
Yeah, I mean 94 sats, but it could be a low supply.
Yeah.
Ledger, we know about Ledger, the social media platform that wants to stay anonymous, wouldn't come on the show. But you know, like they're actually doing pretty good. 50 sats, they're up 42%. Quadruple X, I don't know, they're up 69%. 0.04 sats, must have a huge supply there. VMPX, so kind of still hovering around that 200 sat range, down 11%. So this kind of fluctuates, but VMPX, I'm very bullish on the future of VMPX. On what?
One thing on VMPX real quick. So it's just funny when Jack focuses on something else, it kind of like the token goes down. So when Jack was focused on VMPX, Zen was going down. When Jack's now focused, Jack Levin is now focused on Zen GPT. Have you heard about this?
Yeah, I have.
So he's working on is basically a chat GPT. Basically, it's for knowledge to learn about Zen and everything. You can ask it whatever you want. It's connected to chat GPT through what are those called? It's through like a mode or something like that. But anyway, it's focused on giving you information, all the information from all the docs on the Zen side. But yeah, and now Jack's focused on that, and now VMPX drops. It's just like whatever's attention's not on. It's like what just to focus. And it was just his birthday weekend, so everyone was like, "Oh, where's Jack? Where's Jack?" But he was just like enjoying himself, and that's why all his tokens go down.
A lot of people are dependent upon him.
It's crazy.
But they're sitting at 6 cents, so kind of where they have been. You know, like tokens like VMPX and tokens like Ordi and tokens like possibly even OXBT. These type of tokens, to me, once the liquidity pool solution comes, that's a jump up, in my opinion. I could be wrong. I just feel like there's going to be such a big jump up when that happens. But yeah, so VMPX looking okay. Onwa, I found out what this is. So the supply is 2,100 total tokens.
Whoa.
Yeah, and this is actually a token by I'm So Chris's project. Oh, so wow. If you hold, I believe so. I could be wrong. So, but from my research, it was a token deployed by them. Supposedly, a lot of benefits that you're going to be able to have if you hold this. But do your own research on it. But that's what I found.
Could you click that for a second? I'm sorry.
Onwa? Yeah, sure. It's cheap. It's like $5.
$5 for was the supply again?
Let's look it up. Yeah, 2,100.
$5, dude.
That's what I'm saying. So it's tempting, right?
Oh, it's so tempting. And it has a name behind it, like I Am So Chris.
Oh. Yeah, yeah. So
potentially, we don't know for sure.
I think it stands for Onward. The project or whatever, but it is from my what I remember on my research. It is deployed by them. Okay, so then you have the council sitting at 19, lower than we're normally used to seeing it, right? It's
Yeah.
usually in that top, I want to say like 5 to 8. But it's still at a decent price point here, 322. 322 with just kind of sitting flat there.
Yeah.
MXRC back to 1890. Glad to see that they recovered some after
Yeah.
that exploit of their Discord.
Yep.
TXO at 20, so 5% increase with MXRC, 5.93% increase with TXO. I still need to research this project. I have no idea what it is.
That was the one that got airdropped?
Yeah, I got airdropped. I actually got airdropped some stuff, but like I don't know. I'm just fishy on airdrops because of my PTSD, probably from Ethereum side.
Sure.
But if you airdrop something, in my opinion, you need to make an announcement or something to like the community, right? Like just having some random tokens in my wallet is I don't like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you have recursive. So this one, they actually have a website. They have tools on there to actually, I believe, build recursive inscriptions with the tools within the limitations of what their tool will do, but still really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
They're at 140 sats, 7.69% increase, and then PGPG. This must be like a new launch. I have no idea what this is. Sitting at negative 4.55. 63 sats. And that is your BRC20 weekly update.
That was amazing, sir. Thank you.
No problem.
And then I will jump over and do your good old fashioned ordinals, the actual pictures, the JPEGs, the whatever you want to call them. But so today I want to get into something really quick. So I was listening to Trevor's show like right before we got on, and they had an ETH. He didn't say it was ETH Maxi, but he was ETH Maxi, and he was basically saying how like ordinals are just going to be like a niche thing forever, and then we're kind of wasting our time. But then he started pumping up inscriptions, and that's when I got sick to my stomach. Like, if you want to say that ordinals aren't going to make it or BRC20s aren't going to make it, then that's fine. You have your opinion, one thing. But then you're going to go over and you're going to say the copy of it, the clone that's on Ethereum is going to be the better one, and that it's a great idea because you can actually own it. But then you're going to go over and I know his name. I don't want to give him the credit or the airtime, but the guy, it's just ridiculous to me, and it really pissed me off. And I just wanted to get it out there that don't listen to these people who are ETH maxis. They're gonna try to trash this all the time. Don't let it bother you, and let's keep doing what we're doing. There's builders over here. There's actual builders over here. There's barely any builders on ETH inscriptions. So it just bothered me. So.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And like you can't argue that point and then argue that ETH inscriptions are going to succeed because they're a second mover in this space, and Bitcoin is Bitcoin. I think people are going to really get a kick in the butt whenever they realize that, oh shit, like ordinals are here to stay. Like,
hell yeah.
There's never been anything like this on Bitcoin. I don't like, you can say, oh, there's been NFTs on Counterparty. They've been, colored coins in 2013 or 12 or whenever that happened. But the community wise, it's never been this strong before.
And we're growing every single day. You can see it in the bitmaps. You can see it in the wallet holders. We're growing every single day. So guys, let's relax. Let's not worry about prices. Worry about building. Let's building our portfolios, not investment advice. But like, if you're in this space and you believe in it, do what you believe. Obviously, don't risk more than you can lose, more than you afford to lose. But this is going to be something special, and that's why this channel focuses in this area. But anyway, I had to get that off my chest. But anyway, Ordinal Maxi's is sitting at 0.2. This is actually down. It was up about 0.24. But I seem like this is the bottom here. Every time it goes down to 0.2, it jumps right back up to 0.24.
Yeah.
So, and then we got like my favorite right now, we got bitmaps sitting at 0.000258. This was at about 0.00045, and then it just dropped down, but it got a little bit too high, and then people who minute 1,000 of them started dumping them. Can't blame them. Take your profit. You guys made the gamble in the beginning to inscribe them. Now just take your profit. That is completely fine. I'm not gonna I will never ever like come at somebody for taking profit. That is what it is.
And it's been established a really strong floor at 2.5 though.
For sure.
That it hasn't gone below that really.
No. Yep. So it's been, if it does drop, it comes right back, and
Yeah.
that's just some big whale coming on and just like 50 bitmaps
Yep.
and then getting bought up. But this number right here, and I said it last week, I'll say it again, is the most important number. And every single day I check this, it is it is 100.1 higher, which is 100 wallets higher. 100 new wallets by bitmap almost every single day.
Crazy.
This is probably going to be at 21.4 tomorrow, and then we'll probably be at 22,000 by Monday, if not Tuesday. So that is the only number that matters, and that is the many Xverse wallets that is opening, the most Unisat wallets opening. Those are the numbers that matter. This number right here, this floor, what we're talking about, it's just something to kind of like interest you now, but like does not get discouraged if your project drops a little bit. So, but yeah, so jump back to. I want to go over the yeah. So there's a whole new thing with bitmaps now that Magic Eden didn't have. So now you can actually see the inscriptions. I mean, the parcels inside of the bitmap inscription, which is pretty cool to me. I thought it was pretty wild. You can see all the squares now, and something in the future that I want to do is I want to build one of the cities in my my 3-digit bitmap. I want to get like a couple big blocks in the center here, and then kind of just build out. It's not possible yet. It's something that needs to come later. But how cool would it be if we can take it? And I think what's the name brought this up. Our friend we just had it on the show on Sunday. Mattyverse. He just brought that up as well. That he wants to be able to move one block to another, which would be really, really cool in the future. So this is really cool. And then on top of that, they did add a whole bunch of new categories. We have difficulty. We have Fibonacci, Nakamoto, and NTX. What's that? Palindromic, right?
Yeah.
And then we have same digits, attributes, sequential, vintage, weight, and year. So that's really cool. You can now go through that stuff, and hopefully soon they have bitmap punks. So I just want to get into this really quickly. If you go over to @bitmappunks on Twitter, it'll show exactly what a bitmap punk is. So go through your wallet and check for these, because these are worth a lot more than the floor. They don't really have a price on them yet. It's really hard to sell unless it's going to be like over the counter type thing with somebody. Because if you put them on Magic Eden, it's going to be really hard to find, because you're going to put them way down on the floor. So there's no category yet, but we were talking, it's going to be really hard to categorize.
Yeah, it is. I mean, there's no way to really index these. But the only thing that I could think of is for one of these platforms, Magic Eden or Ordinal's Wallet or Unisat, kind of do like an open indexing to where you're calling all bitmap punks owners to submit their punk to their indexer. So, because they're gonna be incentivized to submit them because they want them to be rare, right? And they are rare because they're not easy to find. But really, other than that, I mean, I'm sure if they, I don't know, man. I don't know how else they could index that. Maybe with a certain amount of transactions in certain places, but it just seems too difficult to be able to catch that.
I think you're right. I think it's something that
I mean, that one,
maybe in future.
Look at that one. It's literally like 1 and 2 transactions.
Like the perfect bitmap, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, bitmap punk.
Well, yeah. I mean, like that's literally 2 transactions. But the one that you have is actually really clean too. So
that one's in my phone wallet, but it kind of looks like I actually have a good image of some of them right here.
Oh,
so
yeah.
This is one way you could do it. You could have somebody go through and label every single one. I mean, it would be a lot of work, but if if then your number matches one of these numbers, then you have a bitmap. So I think they look really cool. I want a couple of these big boys for my city, but I don't know like if I should roll it like these type, like as centerpieces.
You know what's crazy? This reminds me of kind of like cards, like physical cards, to where like one, like if it's like a mint condition, like that top right one, it would be like a mint, like perfectly like bit punk, you know what I mean? And it's like the best graded one,
like a 10.
Yeah, exactly, right. I mean, dude, I feel like the best collectability is on Bitcoin, and it's not
for sure.
It's not close, in my opinion. you know, just the best collectability on the ordinals layer. It's just, you just feel it, right? It's like a community of collectors now.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And they're
It's so much
finding,
fun.
yeah,
Like, it's just fun.
and it's finding new ways to realize that something's rare, and you want to acquire it, right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. But
I think it's really cool. But this is some similar to the one that you were talking about in my wallet. Looks
yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So,
And that's a clean one too. That would be like,
yeah.
you know, so
Yeah,
yep,
man. All
yep.
right, we'll jump back into your update. Smash Eden. All right. Yeah, I'm above getting started. I got it. But all right, where we at? So Little Peepo's in the 3rd spot, and I'm on the 7-day. I like the 7-day. Yagobi likes the 24-hour.
Yeah.
But I'm more of a 7-day guy, so I'm just going to give you the 7-day here. Little Peepo's is at 0.087. They're sitting in number 3 spot. Bitmap
dropped,
Frogs, they were definitely over 0.1 for a while. So, and we got the Bitmap Frog sitting here at 0.0259. This seems to be their floor here.
Yeah.
I can't see them really going any lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got an Ordinal Punk sitting at, whoa, this is something new, isn't it? Because I've
No, I think they've been around for a while, but they're expensive.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. 407 to 642. That is insane. That is why they're going for 3 Bitcoin floor.
Yeah.
All right. That's
well,
wild.
Look at, so there's only 100 total, and then the inscription range is 407 to 642. Yeah. So
they're pretty awesome though.
Yeah.
They look cool. I really like that one. Number 29. But yeah, I don't have 3 Bitcoins to punk. So and we got sorry. Bit Apes by Bored Ape Yacht Club members. This is something newer as well, right?
Yeah.
I guess not, because they've been
no. It's not newer. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, it's by the community members of the Bored Ape Yacht Club though.
There's a bunch of new ones that
there is some new ones
to the 7-day.
Yeah, well, there's new ones in the inscription range. So they started at like the 141,000 mark, and then now they're like at 17 million. So I think, honestly, I don't know how I feel about that, because I mean, like, I don't know. I don't know if the OMBs are sort of like that, but these, like, that's gonna drop the floor, you know, because you're talking about 141,000 to 17 million.
Yeah.
I just don't understand why they wouldn't just do a separate collection for those later inscription ones.
For sure. It's crazy that we're at 17 million. That's pretty nuts. I remember we were just at 10.
Yeah. I mean, but OMB is the same way. I just looked at it. So they're at 89,000 to 11 million. So I don't know. Maybe it's just how popular it is.
For sure. For sure. And we have where we at now? Bitmap Punks are sitting at 0.0027. They seem to keep dropping there. They're not really holding their floor very well. We got Taproot Punks sitting at 0.12. These are a couple weeks old now. And we have OCM Dimensions sitting at 0.33. This is something new, something you brought to my attention here. The Unisat OG Pass collection. So when did this start?
So it started like 4 months ago, actually. I looked at it, and you know, and some of these are older, like the Taproot Wizards, or Taproot Punks. That actually launched, I want to say, like, let's see, like a couple 2 months ago.
Okay.
So but they're finding their way back into the top, right? And I think it's because what I'm starting to see is some of this older stuff that, like, is low inscription and possibly, like, you know, just old, like, OG style kind of working its way back up, you know, and people are wanting the lower inscriptions and stuff like that. So maybe that's what's happening.
For sure. And we have Frago the Magician.
I don't know what that is.
New shit just pops up every damn day, it seems.
This is new.
Yeah, definitely new. This is million. 18 million.
Yeah,
fun, dude. There's like a couple 100,000 subscriptions a day. It's pretty wild.
Yeah.
All right, and I think that is your market update officially done.
Yep.
And we do have a couple other topics for you today. So me and Yagobi were talking earlier today, and we decided that we would bring you the Oshi boss stuff, because we had in the comments. And please, if you guys want us to cover anything, please drop it in the comments. But in the comments, somebody wrote that we should cover this, and Yago B took the time out and really jumped into it. So he's going to start explaining it to us right now.
Yeah, for sure. Let me get my screen back up. Okay, so let me get right there.
Maybe click them together. Yep.
There it is. Okay, so I'm not gonna bore everybody with the docs, and I'll this is actually the Oshi docs because there's something I want to talk about in that. So I think the reason why people haven't really dove into Boss Protocol docs is because it's actually not something that you want to read. Like when you start, you kind of start, and then like you're just like, I'll read that later. But I actually forced myself to read it because I was like, I got to dive into this. I got to learn and figure out, what this is about. Because if it's a viable solution to, smart contract style solutions on the, with ordinals, then we got to figure out what this is about, right? So this is what I came up with, right? So my understanding is the Boss protocol uses smart inscriptions, which are the ordinal Bitcoin ordinal version of smart contracts. And the Boss protocol manages those, right? So what it does is it detects, reads, and manages all smart inscriptions that will come through, right? And it utilizes it allows smart protocols, if you will, that are more like decentralized applications, dApps, right, to be able to utilize these smart inscriptions, right? So basically what the Boss protocol does is it detects, reads, manages these smart inscriptions, and it also acts as a ledger as well, right? So it tracks all the transactions with these smart inscriptions. Okay. Now, speaking about the Boss protocol from like an overall entity perspective, it actually is a new metadata layer, right? So if we were to go to that chart, let's see where it is. Give me 1 second. I think it was Bob. His name Bob.
And is the Boss protocol is because I remember it was teased a few weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean,
nothing really came from it.
Yeah, it's teased actually quite a bit, and I think I don't know if they just want people to not forget about it and keep it in the forefront of people's minds. Actually, I think I have this chart here, but it's because I think like they're getting closer and closer to being able to release the docs and all that stuff. But you remember the chart that we went over where it shows Bitcoin Core and then it shows the layers and the side chains, the layer 2s, and then the meta layer. Do you remember that chart that we went over in the show? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
Briefly?
Yeah, I kind of remember. Yeah.
Okay, so if I can't pull it up here in a second, then I'm just going to move on. But anyways, people know, I think maybe Trevor posted it, Trevor Owen. So go to his Twitter. But anyways, so going back to that. So the way that this works, the Boss protocol actually lives on the metadata layer, the same layer that the ordinal layer lives, right? So it's doing all this tracking of the smart inscriptions, allowing these smart protocols to utilize these smart inscriptions all on the same layer as the ordinal layer, and then it allows them to interact with the ordinal layer, right? So basically that is their solution to having smart contracts, if you will, on the ordinal layer. So that's the one part of it, right? Because if you think about it, that doesn't really explain how it could solve the liquidity pool issue, right?
Yeah.
That just basically says, okay, well, the Boss protocol is bringing smart contracts to ordinals. Now, if you dive into the Oshi side, it talks about, really simple kind of what their approach is to adding liquidity pools to Oshi. And the way that they do it is just like any other liquidity pool. So you basically are creating inscriptions of one LP token by giving up your token and your two BRC20s, because you're forming two BRC20s
Yep.
for one new LP token inscription, right? Well, where's the problem with that? Well, the problem lies in the incentives, right? Because what are the incentives for, the Unisat or Uniswap on Ethereum? Do you know what the incentives are?
Yeah, you basically you earn the
The fees.
Uniswap token, right? Yeah, you earn
And
the fees but you earn it in the Uniswap
yeah,
Uni
exactly.
token. Yeah.
So the problem with this is you don't earn that. You don't you the LP providers don't get incentivized.
Well, why would you
So
do that?
exactly, right? So their approach to incentivizing somebody is the token founders and project owners. So their incentives are given to the founders if their token is successful. If their project is successful and it has like longevity, right?
Yeah.
So I think this is going to be like a completely different approach than what we're used to. And so we're going to have to see if this actually becomes the solution for liquidity pools, right? Because like we got to see what that incentive is for project owners. I think it could be good if it's something that motivates and excites these project owners to do well. Then we could kind of sift out these like scams, a lot more of these scams, right?
Yeah.
So you're incentivizing the project owner instead of incentivizing these liquidity providers. So the
Can't
project
get
owner,
rugged.
huh?
You can't get rugged.
Well, exactly, right? So it's kind of opposite of that, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's unique in that approach, because they're the ones that going to be providing liquidity and all that stuff. So, I mean, they do that anyways, right?
Yeah.
But I think when the price goes up, that's whenever they rug. So
Yeah. I think they got to come up with a new idea there. I don't. I mean, maybe I'm not understanding it properly. I mean, you did explain it well, but I think that maybe there's something in there where maybe we're missing. I don't know, but
yeah,
it's just not, exactly what you said. It's just not like there's no. We need incentives in here. We need a liquidity pool that actually pays incentives. Otherwise, it's not going to work.
yeah. So that's the tough part, and I don't know. Maybe that's why they're holding off on releasing this,
Yeah.
is because they want to add another aspect to it.
Yeah.
But also we need more details on like how are they going to incentivize these
Yeah.
project founders, right? And this was that part of it, like I heard before in a spaces. So that
Yeah.
could have changed in terms of the liquidity pool incentives. So if that did change, then drop a comment in our comments and let us know. That is the one part that I tried to get clarity. I did reach out to Merlin today about the boss protocol and if I had it correct. And one of his team members came back to me and said, "Yeah, you got it pretty much right on the button, right?" So you just basically think about boss as
Yeah.
smart contracts coming to the ordinal layer.
Yep. And I actually reached out to Track and then asked them if they will be helping out Oshi, partnering with them to use the Track indexer, and they are not. So Track has no partnership with Oshi at the moment. So I don't know what indexer they're going to be using, if they have their own indexer.
Yeah, they're
Okay.
going to use their own. And it talks about it in these docs. So one cool thing about this, it shows kind of how it mimics the Ethereum network.
Yeah.
But the difference is that they don't obviously use Solidity, right? They use
Yeah.
JavaScript and JSON, I believe. So this is their version, right? So Bitcoin network powered by Boss. And it says right here, Bitcoin network is used to transfer money and store data. I don't know why they said that. We know that.
Yeah.
But then it says there are many different ordinal protocols. Networks are formed by one or more nodes. So basically, these nodes support the Boss protocol system. Each node is a machine running the Boss client. So you have a copy of the Boss client on each node. So it's just like running a node on the ordinal layer, right?
Yeah.
So anyone can run a node, a Boss node. Each node can contain a full copy of the Boss, and then the Boss chain is, see how they called it chain? That's where I got that it acts as a ledger, tracking all the transactions, smart inscription transactions, right? And so
But you wouldn't call that a layer 2 though, correct?
No, because of where it lives. It lives
Okay.
on the same layer. It literally would be next to the ordinal layer, like
Okay.
on that same metadata layer, right? So you have like the RGB there. You have ordinals, counterparties there. Remember?
Yeah.
And so, and then it says the last part is the boss chain is a database that stores a record of every transaction that has ever taken place. So then, like, what's the incentive of running a node on the boss layer, right? So you got to think about what's the incentive of running a node on the ordinal layer. Well, you're going to get the cheapest fees for inscribing, right? They're already cheap, like $1.48 with Unisat, but like it's dirt cheap if you have running your own node, right?
Yeah.
So in my opinion, they're probably going to make it really cheap for you to execute smart inscriptions if you run your own node, instead of doing it through like a platform.
Yeah. But again, there's no incentive for running
Yeah, so this is
cheap.
Yeah. Besides, well, I mean, that's the same thing with running a Bitcoin node for ordinals. You know, so I mean, like, I think there's other incentives too, like, you know, that I probably don't know about, but
yeah,
there isn't like a token incentive or anything. I didn't see any of that in the docs. But then this kind of shows like how the environment would work. So you have, for the developers, the BTC Boss JavaScript. So basically you feed that into the node network. And then for consumers, the Ord and Unisat, I'm assuming that these two will be like indexers. Or like platforms, maybe platforms to interact with. Maybe this is part of the indexing that goes through, but they are doing their own indexing though. I did see that. Like the Boss actually has that a part of its protocol.
That's a lot. We're gonna have. I mean, that's what kind of what we wanted, right? We want many indexers because, you know, especially if they get decentralized. And did it say are they going to stay centralized? And like every indexer we have right now is centralized, even the track one. But hopefully down the line, I mean, that's track's plan to create a decentralized indexer. So
yeah, I mean, so one of their worries when they first started coming up with like solutions, from when I read this, was that they had like an idea of how, like, going down this road, right? But in order for it to work, basically all the ordinal devs would have to be on the same page, right? And they were worried that like that just would be too hard to get everybody like focused on the same thing and get them on their team and on this stuff. So what they did to kind of bypass that was create the Boss protocol, right? Because what that does is it basically sets up a framework of, hey, like, we're proving to you guys that this can work, and smart inscriptions can live with ordinals and interacting with these assets, and adding sort of a logic to it. It is going to be a logic, but it's not going to be. It's going to be different than, you know, Ethereum style smart contracts, you know, because those are really intensive. I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, if you, like, I hated reading through those contracts, you know what I mean? You're like, ugh, they were not fun. These won't be as extensive in my opinion, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen a full smart inscription, but they're still going to have logic because it has JavaScript that has logic, right? And then also the great thing about the metadata layer is that you can use multiple languages, right? So if you need to, but I believe they said that they are strictly going to be using JavaScript and JSON, but I could be wrong. So yeah, man, what do you think?
I still, I'm still kind of like on the fence with Oshi. I'm actually growing a little bit better. I'm actually, in the beginning, I had some I was in their Discord and stuff like that, and I just didn't like what I was seeing, but they're definitely growing, and obviously the price is growing as well, but that's not the reason why. I think when I say growing, I mean like as a group of developers. These guys are they seem to be all just devs, and there's no really social media manager, anything like that, which is obviously, they're small company. It's just really just, a trial and error type situation. But I feel like the people there need to hire someone to do their basically do their Twitter and do their Discord, because I don't think that they do a great job with that, because it kind of threw me off. And if I didn't have those experiences, I'd probably be seeing it a little differently. But I actually want them to succeed. I want them to do really well, because that helps the space, that creates competition. I'm kind of on team track though, and I think that it doesn't really matter what anyone else build, because I think Track's going to build something superior, and that is just because I have a relationship with Track, and I kind of like am talking with them a little bit. So it's just, and there's no really relationship that I've built with Oshi. Like in the Discord, I mean relationship meaning like talk to them. I mean just like seeing them in their Discord, seeing them on their Twitter, and seeing them in their Telegram.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have the same type of experiences with them. So I just think that they do things a little differently than, but I'm excited for what they're building for sure.
Yeah, and Benny, first of all, do you have any alpha to drop?
I wouldn't say alpha, but no, I don't want to get into that. But
Gotcha.
so basically, if you go over to Track, they shot some shots, and not at Oshi, but at Unisat. And I should have actually grabbed this earlier, but yeah, I have to do a better job of finding this stuff anyway. But anyway, Track shot some. It wasn't really a big deal. They did shoot some shots at Unisat, but so Track's trying to be decentralized. They don't see Unisat as being that way. They kind of see them as being a little bit other chain BSV type players who just came over here. So that's just kind of how they see it. And I don't, and the problem is Unisat doesn't have any type of presence. They are not talking to anyone. They will not do an interview. They do answer your messages back, but they're very vague. They just say, nope, we can't do this, can't do that. But I think again, they need to be more social. They need to start doing either maybe talking with Leonidas again, or talking with Trevor, or anything. They need to be out here. You can't just put out something like, we're going to come out with this swap, and then a week later, remember, about 10 days, there's no new information about it at all. Like there was no reason to drop that. There's no, like, it'd be different if they had a coin and maybe they're trying to pump it, but there's no way to invest in Unisat from a real, like, a normal way. Like there's no coin or anything like that. So I just see that Track's just annoyed by them, and that Track is just the heads down building right now, and they're just, I don't know. I'm just really, really excited for what they're coming out with.
Yeah, and I think Benny told us, and anybody can go to our interview with him about kind of his experience on Ethereum. And I think he just wants to, he's worked pretty hard to get where he is in this ordinals space, and I think he wants to make sure that like that becomes solidified. And I mean, he's doing great. And Unisat is a threat, right? Like, and also Track can be a threat, like if he gets the funding and all that stuff too.
Track will be a threat. Track will be the biggest player, and that's just my personal opinion.
Yeah. And that's another thing too. Like you brought up kind of like the communication, and I think like, so the guy I talked to was a part of the Ord group of Oshi. So I think there's like a small group of developers in their team, and if you have interacted with developers, they don't have the best like social skills, right?
Yeah.
If there's full on developers, but I don't think that's an excuse if your project is like needs growth from that. Like
for sure,
someone needs to step out and do that, because Benny is a developer. You can tell he might not be the most social person, but he knew what needed to happen. He got that interview with us. That was the first interview. He probably wasn't like super excited to be like talking,
and he was sick. Like he came in sick, like bedridden, sick, so he wasn't feeling good, and he still went out there. And there's like Rarity Garden isn't a huge team. not yet. And the fact that they're still coming out and doing interviews, and I'm not saying like with us, because I like just like there's other ones. There's Jake Gallen. There's the Block Runners. There's plenty other places. Leonidas, Trevor. Like just get out there. And I feel like that's what Track did. And they came out there, and now they're just putting their heads down building. We want to hear from these people. We want to hear from Oshi. We want to hear from Unisat. So, but yeah, this is something you brought to us earlier.
Yeah. So this is what I found that post. So basically, where Boss would live would be on this Meta protocol layer. So it lives right on top of Bitcoin, and the ordinal layer is right here, right? So it basically would be part of Bitcoin still. It's still a part of Bitcoin. So, and it would feed into the ordinal protocol and communicate and all that stuff there. So yeah, pretty cool chart to look at there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So this was a very market update. I gave maybe a little bit too much of my opinion on things, and please just know that my opinion is mine solely, not of DeFi Discussions, not of Yagobi. So if Unisat and Oshi want to come on somebody, please DM me. But it's just one of those things that I just felt like I just needed to speak out, and then I can kind of get over after I say it. So.
Yeah, and I think that's okay. Just being transparent, because that's what the show's about: being genuine and transparent. And I think we have an open invitation to anybody from Oshi and Unisat to come on the show. And one thing I'll say about Unisat, though, in their communication, they are set up more like a corporate style almost, right? So they have their spokesperson, which I don't even know if he's still the person, but it was Sonic.Sats before. But so I just wanted to put that out there too. And the thing about us is that like we try to stay, really neutral as much as possible. And then being in the space, we develop relationships, obviously, with people we interview and stuff like that. So, but we always make sure that like we try to stay as neutral as possible and just get the word out there, because this is a show about education and a positive show about the ordinal space.
Yeah, and one thing about Unisat though, they did do an interview with Leonidas. So they did do something. So I kind of want to take back a little bit there, because I did remember that they did interview with Leonidas. But it's now time to come out and get a social media manager, get out there, start talking to the people. We want to know what you're building. Like, we're just really interested and really impatient. Like, so it's probably our problem as well.
Well, and then Magic Eden has like Sheet Fu, right? Like, so Sheet Fu is a presence in the ordinal space 100%. And we all know he works for Magic Eden. And so he'll put like little feelers out there and teasers and stuff. So yeah, maybe Unisat should probably think about, hey, maybe we can take that approach just so we can get more connected. I'll say they have market share right now, though, like in terms of BRC20s.
I use it every day.
Yeah, right. So their market share is there, but don't lose your market share. Connect with your community.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm just excited for everyone to keep building, and it's probably me just being impatient, and I just really want to swap. I really want LPs, and it's something that we've been thinking about for a while. But even though it feels like we've been in this space for a long time, it's only really been since like April, May, right?
Yeah.
So it's just we live here. This is where we want to stake our presence and want to become popular in the space. Not just popular with subs and all that stuff, but just popular with the people in the space. And we really want to get as much information as we have there, just like Yagobi just said.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, we'll call that our market update. We'll call that my bitch fest. We'll call that fun. We'll call that all kinds of stuff. And if you don't like what I said, please put it down in the comments, because I would love to read it. And hit that bell, hit that sub.
Yeah. Smash to the likes. And if I didn't explain the boss protocol as well as I should have, just put some comments in the comment section if you have any questions, because I do have a grasp on it, and I'll get back to you.
And look out for tomorrow. We will have an interview with someone special, someone who's been in the Bitcoin world since 2013, 14, somewhere around there. So look out for that. I don't want to tease it a little bit, but it might be a guy named Mark, but we'll find out.
And we have big things this weekend too. So founder interview, new mover, or first mover stuff, and then we got our boy Swatsky.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Swapsy's
gonna be fun.
Yeah, he's gonna be on with us this weekend, so that's gonna be a good one.
So yeah, man. So let's get out of here.
All
Have a good night, guys.
Peace.